Welcome back to another episode of Alpha Simulation, building this fantastic 737NG cockpit. I'm back here in the garage inside my cockpit because I'm gonna start straight from another project. The project for today, the first one will be the pilot grab handle. They're very simple, they're just arrived all the way from Australia. Yes, all the way from Australia. It took quite some time. Why Australia? Because this particular company make fantastic products that you don't find anywhere else. At least not the one that's seen this pilot grab handle is also allowed to move up and down like in a real plane. So all I need to do for this, just put some couple of holes here and connect this. Now the good things about the cockpit simulator here is that the frame coming from Flyby Cockpit FPC already have the hole pre-drilled. All I need to do is to make the hole here for the panels, and this will just be installed normally. Very easy. Installation completed, and I'm very happy of the result. Very strong because they're attached to the metal part of the shell. Another small project done. Let's move to the next. I got this fantastic map and chart panel from Small Solution. Originally they were not selling them, and then I asked them if they could replicate this, and they actually have them. Now they also have them on their website. I think that they did a very good job. They are ultra realistic, the feel and the touch. They also include the backlight and the two potentiometer, obviously. So it's ready to be connected. However, I need to do something before I connect this completely. I want to change the knob, and the reason for that is because these are not the knob that you find on the real 737. You can see how the knob looks like. They're actually very good. I mean, if you don't have the real replica, or if you cannot 3D print them, leave this knob, because actually I thought about it maybe to leave them. You know, they don't bother me. However, that's me. I always wanted to be the little perfect guy, so I 3D printed the what the knob should look like, and it's I did the best way to show this, I think. Yeah, I 3D printed them, if you can see, and with a little bit of Uniposca black, I did a little black line over there. I think from far away they look good enough for me. So all I need to do is to remove this and replace with this. Very easy. For once, easy job to do. This is the final result. Very good. So this is done. What we need to attach here is the map light. Now for the map light, I haven't received them yet. Actually, I purchased them from somebody that does this type of device. The map lights are very difficult to replicate for the real thing. So I found somebody that was doing them, but didn't receive them. So don't know what's happening there. I'm gonna chase. For the chart lights, this is quite interesting because I never seen myself with the chart lights how it looks like. It's hidden somewhere near the window of the captain and the first officer, and what it does is just a little light that shine on the display if you have the EFB, electronic flight bag, of the charts, obviously. I saw somewhere a forum where he explained that this was a very small light with a reflective glass that was shining through. To be honest, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use one of those LED that I showed you before. Probably one is enough, because I even on the simulator I saw it's a little very small light that needs to be done. So I just use a normal LED that connect already 12 volts, and this will provide 12 volts. So very simple. I'll just make a very small hole with the LED and the case for LED, so it's gonna be stuck nice and doesn't move anywhere. And obviously it's gonna be hiding somewhere as long as it provides lights on the chart. So that's it, and this will be 12 volts, and there is already the connector for the backlight, which I'm gonna take from either the MIP or MCP or overhead. I will see which one will be easier to open up and get some 12 volts they need for the backlight. Let's continue with the rest of other projects. What I have here is the forward overhead from Sysmo Solution. This is gonna be my next project. Hopefully it's gonna be easier than the after overhead where I have to calculate the resistor and everything else. I mean, it was pretty simple job, but you have to do a little bit of pre-planned preparation before doing everything. Now, what I'm interested here is actually this switch over here, the circuit breaker. So this switch here, actually it's not a switch, it's a potentiometer, sorry. What it does is turn on and off, increasing the brightness of the CB lights, and the CB lights are these little fellas over here. If you remember in my previous episode I showed how I build them. This will be connected behind the captain and first officer, and they will shine light to the CB panel, and you control that from here, okay, from brightness all the way off. So let me put this away. I download the datasheets from Sysmo Solution just to understand how everything is connected inside before I open and see for myself, do some testing. What I noticed from the datasheets is apparently the circuit breaker actually control this light here. There is a real 12 volts light bulb here, which turn on and off depending on the switch. At least this is what the datasheet seems like to imply. I will obviously do my own testing and see if that's the truth or not. If that's the case, I'm very happy because I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is to take the two wire and connect them directly to the CB lights, because this light is 12 volts, which is taken from the potentiometer, so the potentiometer is already receiving 12 volts, and then obviously control the brightness by varying the resistance inside. So if that's true, all I need to do is to open, take the positive and negative, extend, so then I can connect the CB lights. That's like 10 minutes job really. If not, then I need to somehow ensure that this is gonna take the 12 volts, and then obviously it's working, and then how to connect this to the CB lights, depending on what the connection is inside. We'll see about that. So I'm gonna open this. I have a very limited amount of space. I cannot show you directly because I need to pay attention to this. So I'm gonna open, and when I come out with what I think should be the right things to do, I'll let you know. I'm downstairs back in the simulator room, and I found out exactly what I needed to know, exactly what the datasheets from Sysmo Solution said. The reading light is connected to the potentiometer, so all I need to do is to stick two wires and get my 12 volts to give power to my two CB lights, one there and one over there. So all the three lights, reading lights, and its two CB lights will be connected together. I thought it was a good idea to show you what I need in terms of visual display over here. First of all, sorry it's upside down because the cable was not long enough, but let me give you some ground power first of all, and let's turn on the dimming so we have a little bit better visual. Just beautiful, gorgeous. So this is the reading light I'm talking about. It's the CB panel lights, but connected to these reading lights. There we go. The lights will shine directly towards the throttle pedestal for the reading lights, and I'm gonna connect the two CB lights over there exactly as I need it. So there is nothing else to do. All I need to do is to stick two wires, positive and negative there, and take them outside, and game is done. Let's turn off now because this is quite bright. Let's get back to work. So what am I trying to do? Let me explain a little bit. The overhead actually has the capabilities of making the cockpit even more realistic, closer to reality. For instance, when you turn on the fasten seat belt and the no smoking sign, what I want to do, I want to understand what happens when you do that, when the switch goes in auto and on position. what type of output do I get in terms of voltage, and if I can transfer this voltage to drive a load. In this case could be the real fasten seat belt or the no smoking sign light. The same with the 10 button. When you press the 10 button, what I'm trying to do is to connect that to an intercom system. For example, I can have the phone connected behind the pedestal, and when I push that 10 button, this is connects to the phone, for example, in my living room or my kitchen, and then somebody answer and I can say, hello, this is the captain speaking, can you please bring some cookie and an espresso please, thank you very much. And then when you push it back, the intercom system goes off. At the same times, because it's a two-way communication, the person in the kitchen or living room, if they want to communicate with the cockpit, they don't have to come all the way to the cockpit. They can simply push the button, it will ding inside my cockpit and I can pick it up. The same things goes for the air condition. We have the recirculation fan of left and right, and I believe that's the switch to turn on the air, the bleeds the air within the cockpit, within the passenger cabin. So I'm thinking, if I turn left and right, I can have some fan that start working, and then I have the cockpit cabin temperature where I can go from cold air to warm air. All I need to do is to get this output, buy for example a very cheap heater which also have the control for the temperature, remove this, disassemble everything and connect the switch for the left to my left, the switch for the right to the right, fan, and then the temperature that controls from the knob of the cockpit. So all this can be done. I just needed to open the overhead, try to understand what type of output do I get, and I just did that. I couldn't demonstrate to you because it was a little bit messy. It's over there. I'll show you very fast later on. But in very simple words, the output is 5 volts. Okay, so it goes from 0 to 5 volts or 5 volts to 0 depending on the states, on and off. Now this 5 volts is good enough to drive a simple DC to DC boost converter, which you can input 5 volts and the output can go from for example from 5 to 24 volts, and so I can purchase something that is driven by 12 volts up to 2 ampere. This boost converter usually get up to 2 ampere. They're very cheap on Amazon. I think you can get 10 for like £6. And so when I, for example, the seat belt, when I go from off to on, the output is 5 volts, go into the boost converter, becomes 12 volts, and it drives the light outside the cockpit to turn on the fasten seat belt. How about that? For the potentiometer of the cabin, that's a little bit different. It goes from 0 volt to 3.24 volts, or vice versa, depending if you connect the middle point of the potentiometer to P1 or P2, the two pins. Nevertheless, it's still good because this boost converter, one of the minimum voltage they can get is 3 volts, sometimes even 2 volts. So 3.24 is exactly what I need. And that can be also connected to drive some loads. So all this to make the cockpit as close as to reality as possible. I don't think there is any cockpit out there that can replicate the heating system and fasten seat belt or the 10 button with the intercom system. I haven't seen it so far. I don't know if how easy or difficult it's gonna be, but all I know is this, that all that is gonna slow down my entire project. Okay, you have to purchase the parts, you have to construct the little circuit and so forth. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna only connect the wires, take the output, take the wire out, take them clear labels so I know exactly which positive or negative is for which type of project I'm gonna work on, close everything and then install the overhead. At least I can enjoy my simulator, I can use it, and then little by little when I construct these other little projects, I already have the cable, which all I need to do is to take the positive and negative and connect to my circuit and it's done. But at least I don't have to hold up everything else. Yeah, what I'm gonna get into. If you are interested to see what I've done, so this is the inside of the overhead. The very fast, some of the switch obviously I'm behind, and in order to connect directly my multimeter to the switch and take the output, I have to remove all this. It was so messy. I didn't want to touch anything. So what I done, I found out from the datasheet from Sysmo the exact cable connected to, for example, the attend button, fasten and no smoking sign, and I put an extra connector in parallel. So from here, without disturbing the circuits, I actually activate everything. I load the ProSim, the simulator, give power, and then I could take all the output I needed in order to check the voltage when you were playing around with the switch. I did the same for this one here, and this one is the one that controls the recirculation fan left and right, and these are the 3 potentiometer for the cockpit or cabin. I think is forward and afterward passenger. Now these 2 I don't really mind, I'm not gonna do anything with that, but the one I want to use to connect the fan blowing air inside the cockpit, either cold air or hot air. That's all from now. Got a lot of work to do, so I'll keep you updated. All the connector have been now soldered and installed. So let me give a little bit of tour here what I'm trying to do. So this one will be the left recirculation fan and the right recirculation fan, where you can connect 2 fans that will blow air, and then you can control the temperature from the cap temperature. So this is connected to the real potentiometer, so when you increase or decrease, you will have cool air or hot air. We have the attend button here. We have the no smoking and seatbelt sign correctly connected. A little bit scratched there, but can be repainted, no problem. And here we have the CB lights. Now the reason why for CB lights I have this connector is because this little DC connector, when you plug the DC plug, there were no very stable connection. You can move the plug a little bit and they were a little bit loose. I didn't like that. I want something stable. So this is correctly connected directly, and much better cabling I can use. This is what will give me the 12 volts for the CB lights. So all these connectors really work connected to the different switch, but I'll need to work on the project for each of them. I'm going to receive soon the no smoking seatbelt sign. Is from a real Airbus 320, although this is 737, but they do look like the 737. The 10 button, I'm looking at the moment for an intercom system that I can use, and for the fan, cold and hot air and the cabin temperature, I'm also looking a simple system to connect 2 fans that can blow cold air or hot air depending on how you position the cabin temperature. CB lights I already showed you how I build them, the work. All I need to do is to connect them. Now the next things I'm gonna work on is to redo this. This is the after overhead, and I want to replace this with a connector plug, much better, because this is not a very elegant solution. So I'm gonna do that and then move onto the next projects. Next project is going to be working on the map lights. These are the lights that are connected up, one for the co-pilot and one for the captain. So I have here all their 3D printed parts. They come pretty good and they're already black, so that I didn't have to paint or anything. And this one basically will be connected this way, and so something like that. And then we have the one holding the lights, and obviously the top one, and this is gonna be pretty much the final shape. I'll show you how it looks like once everything is done. Everything is already pre-drilled. I have the holes for passing the wires and everything, and this is the lights I'm going to be used. They are dimmable. They are 12 volts cob lights, and they have a very nice nut here that you can block everything, you can lock, so Yeah, it's not. I mean, there are different lights you can choose for this type of project. Thought that for the hole they already made and the dimension, this one works very well with me. And then once everything is done, those will be connected to the map and chart light where I have the potentiometer and the dimmer. So already tested, works fine. So let's go and do this. Hopefully, this is gonna be easier than the overhead project I worked on before. That was the one that took me most of the time. Let's try this one. Very happy how these two came out. I'll give you a little bit of tour. Fully dimmable, and obviously you can move a little bit down and up, and obviously you can also rotate. So I'm very happy. This is a little bit of test. It will be up to 12 volts, but actually it can go much higher. Right now, for example, I'm 20 volts. This project is also complete. I'm going to install this, and then I'm going to install finally the overhead, both the after and forward overhead.